Hello friends and welcome to Virtual Study Hub. In today's video I am going to tell you about the 15 Prime Ministers of India and their intriguing stories. Don't blink or you will miss. In part 1 you saw me telling about 4 Prime Ministers including Jawaharlal Nehru, Gulzari Nanda, Indira Gandhi and Lal Bahadur Shastri, and also telling about what is the role of a Prime Minister in the democratic government. See today's video for another more. Morarji Desai was born on 29 February 1896. He was an Indian independence activist and served between 1977 and 1979 as the 4th Prime Minister of India and led the government formed by the Janata Party. During his long career in politics, he held many important posts such as Chief Minister of Bombay, Home Minister, Finance Minister, and the second Deputy Prime Minister of India. Following the passing of Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, Desai was a strong contender for the position of Prime Minister only to be defeated by Indira Gandhi in 1966. He was appointed as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance in Indira Gandhi's cabinet until 1969. He resigned from the cabinet Congress during the split of 1969 and joined the INC. After the controversial emergency was lifted in 1977, the political parties of the opposition fought together against the Congress until the umbrella of Janata Party and won the 1977 election. Desai was elected Prime Minister and became the first non-Congress Prime Minister of India. On the international scene, Desai holds international fame for his peace activism and created efforts to initiate peace between the two rival South Indian countries, Pakistan and India. After India's first nuclear test in 1974, Desai helped restore friendly relations with China and Pakistan and vowed to avoid armed conflicts such as Indo-Pakistani War of 1971. He was honored with the highest civilian award of Pakistan, the Nishan-e-Pakistan, on 19 May 1990. He is the oldest person to hold the office of Prime Minister and at age 81 in the history of Indian politics. He subsequently retired from political posts but continued to campaign for Janata Party in 1980. He was conferred with India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna. He died at the age of 99 in 19. Singh was born in the year 1902 on 23rd December and he served as 5th Prime Minister of India between 28 July 1979 and 14 January 1980. Historians and people alike frequently refer to him as the champion of Indian peasants. Charan Singh was born in a rural peasant Jat family of village Nurpur in district Hapur in Uttar Pradesh. Charan Singh entered politics as a part of independence movement motivated by Mahatma Gandhi. He was active from 1931 in Ghaziabad and district Arya Samaj as well as Meerut district Indian National Congress, for which he was jailed twice by the British. Before independence, as a member of Legislative Assembly of the United Provinces elected in 1937, he took a deep interest in laws and that was detrimental to the village economy. He slowly built into his ideological and practical stand against the exploitation of titlers of the land held by landlords. Between 1952 and 1967, he was one of the 3 principal leaders in Congress state politics. He became particularly notable in Uttar Pradesh from 1950s for drafting and ensuring the passage of what were then most revolutionary land reform laws in any state in India under the tutelage of the then Chief Minister Pandit Govind Ballabh Pant. As the first parliamentary secretary and then as revenue minister responsible for land reforms, he became visible on national stage from 1959 when he publicly opposed the unquestioned leader and Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's socialist and collectivist land politics in the Nagpur Congress session. Through his position was faction and ridden up in UP Congress was weakened. This was the point when the middle peasant communities across caste in North India began to looking up to him as the spokesperson and later as an unquestioned leader. Singh stood for tight government spending, enforced consequences on corrupt officers, and advocated a firm hand in dealing with the demands of the government and employees for increased wages and dearness allowances. It is also worth nothing within the factional UP Congress, his ability to articulate his clear policies and values made him stand out from his colleagues. As a leader of the Bharatiya Lokdal, a major constituent in Jatana coalition, he was disappointed in his ambition to become Prime Minister in 1975 by Jayaprakash Narayan's choice of Morarji Desai. During 1977 Lok Sabha elections, the fragmented oppositions united a few months before the elections under the Janata Party banner, for which Charan Singh had been struggling almost single-handedly since 1974. It was because of the efforts of Raj Narayan that he became Prime Minister in the year 1979, though Raj Narayan was the chairman of the Janata Party circular and assured that Charan Singh of evaluating him as a Prime Minister, the way he helped him to become Chief Minister in the year 1967 in Uttar Pradesh. However, he resigned just after 24 weeks in the office when Indira Gandhi's Congress party withdrew support to the government. Charan Singh said that he resigned because he was not ready to be blackmailed into withdrawing Indira Gandhi's emergency related court cases. Fresh elections were held 6 months later. Charan Singh continued to lead in Lokdal in opposition till his death in 1987. He was 84 years old. Rajiv Gandhi was born on 20th August 1944. He was an Indian politician who served as the 6th Prime Minister of India from 1984 to 1989. He was the son of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and to become the youngest Indian Prime Minister at the age of 40. Gandhi was born into the politically powerful Nehru-Gandhi family, which had been associated with the Indian National Congress. For much of his childhood, his maternal grandfather Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister. Gandhi attended college in the United Kingdom. He returned to India in 1966 and became a professional pilot for the state-owned Indian Airlines. In 1969, he married Sonia Gandhi. The couple settled in Delhi to a domestic life with their children Rahul and Priyanka. For much of the 1970s, his mother Indira Gandhi was a Prime Minister and his brother Sanjay Gandhi an MP. Despite this, Rajiv Gandhi remained a staunch opposed political member. After Sanjay's death in a plane crash in 1980, Gandhi reluctantly entered politics on behest of Indira. The following year, he won his brother's parliamentary seat in Amethi and became a member of the Lok Sabha, the lower house of India's parliament. As part of his political grooming, Rajiv was made General Secretary of Congress Party and given significant responsibilities in organizing the 1982 Asian Games. On the morning of 31st October, his mother was assassinated in the year 1984 by one of her bodyguards. Later that day, Gandhi was appointed Prime Minister. His leadership was tested over the next few days as organized mobs rioted against the Sikh community, resulting in anti-Sikh riots in Delhi. That December, Congress Party won the largest Lok Sabha majority there, 411 seats out of 542. Rajiv Gandhi's period in office was marred by controversies. Perhaps the greatest crisis was the Bhopal disaster, Bofors scandal, and Muhammad Ahmed Khan, the fifth Shah Banu Begum. In 1988, he reversed the COP Maldives, aggregating a militant Tamil group such as PLOTE, intervening and sending peacekeeping troops to Sri Lanka. In May 1987, the Bofors scandal damaged his corruption-free image and resulting in a major defeat of his party in 1989 election. Gandhi remains Congress president until the election in 1991. While campaigning for elections, he was assassinated by a sweetheart bomber in Sri Lanka. His widow Sonia became the president of the Congress Party in 1988 and led to victory in elections in 2004 and 2009 parliamentary elections. Vishwanath Pratap Singh was born on 25th June 1931 at Allahabad. He was educated at the Allahabad University and Pune University. In 1969, he joined the Indian National Congress Party and was elected as a member of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly. In 1971, he became a member of parliament in the Lok Sabha. He served from 1976 to 1977. In 1980, he became the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. In the Rajiv Gandhi ministry, Singh was given various cabinet posts, including Minister of Finance and Minister of Defence. During his tenure as the Minister of Defence, the Bofors scandal came to light and Singh resigned from ministry. In 1988, he formed the Janata Dal Party by merging various factions of the Janata Party. In 1989 elections, the National Front, with the support of BJP, formed the government and Singh became the 7th Prime Minister of India. During his time as Prime Minister, he implemented the Mandal Commission report for India's backward castes. Following his opposition to Ram Rath Yatra, the BJP withdrew its support from the National Front and his government lost the vote of no confidence. Singh resigned on 7 November 1990. His prime ministerial tenure lasted for 343 days. Singh was the prime minister candidate for the National Front in 1999 elections, but he was defeated. He spoke out against the Babri Masjid demolition in 1992. After 1996, Singh retired from political posts but continued to remain a public figure and political critic. He was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer in 1998 and ceased public appearances until the cancer went to remission in 2003. He died on 27 November 2008 at the age of 77. Chandrasekhar was born on 17th April 1927. He was an Indian politician who served as the 8th Prime Minister of India between 10th November 1990 to 31st June 1991. He headed a minority government, a breakaway faction of the Janata Dal, with outside support from the Indian National Congress as a stopgap arrangement to delay elections. He is the first Indian Prime Minister who has never held any government office. His government was largely seen as a puppet and a lame duck, and the government was formed with the fewest parties MPs in the Lok Sabha. His government could not pass the budget at a crucial time when Modi had downgraded, and it further went down after budget was not passed and the global credit rating agencies further downgraded India from investment grade making and making it possible to even get short-term loans, and in no position to give any commitment to the reform. The World Bank and the IMF stopped their assistance. Chandrasekhar had to authorize mortgaging of gold to avoid default of payment, and this action came for particular criticism as it was done secretly amidst the election, the Indian economic crisis in 1991, and the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi plunged his government into crisis. Chandrasekhar was the Prime Minister for 7 months, the second shortest period after that of Charan Singh. He also handled the portfolios of defence and home affairs during this period. However, his government could not introduce a full budget because of 6 March 1991 Congress withdrew support from his formulants. As a result, Chandrasekhar resigned the office of the Prime Minister on the same day. According to an article published in the print on 7th August 2020, Roderick Matthews wrote that PM Chandrasekhar had almost resolved the Ayodhya issue, facilitating between the two sides, the RJN meaning the Ram Janabhoomi Nyas and the All India Babri Masjid Action Committee. The proposal was presented to Rajiv Gandhi, the leader of opposition, who did not approve of it. And we know that Congress party withdrew its support, bringing down Chandrasekhar government. After handing its prime ministership to P.F. Narasimha Rao, Chandrasekhar's political importance was reduced, although he was able to retain his seat in the Lok Sabha for many years afterward. He established the Bharat Ratna centers in various parts of the country and set up a trust in Bodhi village in Haryana's Gurgaon to focus on rural development. Chandrasekhar died on 8 July 2007, a week after his 80th birthday. He had been suffering with multiple myeloma from some time and had been in the Apollo Hospital at New Delhi since May. He was survived by his two sons. Politicians from across the spectrum of Indian parties paid tribute to him, and the government of India declared 7 days of Patri Venakata Narasimha Rao, better known by his abbreviation form PV Narasimha Rao, was born on 28 June 1921. He was an Indian lawyer and politician who served as the 9th Prime Minister of India from 1991 to 1996. His ascendancy to the Prime Minister was a political significant is that he was the second holder of this office from a non-Hindi speaking region and the first from South India. He led an important administration overseeing a major economic transformation and several home incidents affecting the national security of India. Rao, who held industrial portfolio, was personally responsible for dismantling the license Raj, as this came under the purview of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, reversing the socialite policy of Rajiv Gandhi's government. He is often referred to as father of the Indian economic reforms. Future Prime Ministers Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh continued the economic reforms policies pioneered by Rao's government. He employed Dr. Manmohan Singh as his finance minister to embark on historic economic transition. With Rao's mandate, Dr. Manmohan Singh launched India's globalization angel of the reforms that implemented the International Monetary Fund policies to rescue almost bankrupt nation from economic collapse. Rao was also referred to as Chanakya for his ability to steer economic and political legislation through a parliament at a time when he headed a minority government. In spite of his significant achievements in a difficult situation, in 1996 general elections, the Indian Democratic voted out Rao's Congress party. Soon, Sonia Gandhi's supporters forced Mr. Rao to step down as party president. He was later replaced by Sitaram Kesari. Rao rarely spoke of his personal views and opinions during his 5-year tenure. After his retirement from the national politics, he published a novel called The Insider. The book, which follows a man's rise through the ranks of an Indian politics, resembled events from Rao's own life. According to particular source, despite holding many influential posts in the government, he faced many financial troubles. One of his sons was educated with the assistance of his son-in-law. He also faced trouble paying for a daughter who studied medicine. According to P.V.R.K. Prasad, an Indian administrative service officer who was Narasimha Rao's media advisor when the later Prime Minister Rao asked his friends to sell away his house in Banjara Hills to clear the dues of lawyers. Rao suffered a heart attack on 9 December 2004 and was taken to the All India Institute of Medical Science, where he died 14 days later at the age of 83. His family wanted the body to be cremated at Delhi. This is Karma Bhumi, Rao's son Prabhakara told Manmohan Singh. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share with your friends. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe. Check out our other fascinating videos. And yeah, thank you for watching.